Welcome back for training number 3, Intermediate Construction. This tutorial, presented by famous rocket scientist Werner von Kerman himself, covers how to design a craft that can escape Kerbal's atmosphere and return safely. Hello again, glad you could come back. To get started, go ahead and enter the VAB and I'll give you the overview of what we are building today. Here we are again, now to business. If you remember, in our last construction tutorial, we covered how to build a simple hopper. In this tutorial, we'll explain your knowledge of some of the more useful features in the VAB, and we'll build a more complex craft that will be able to get us out of the atmosphere. To build our new design, let's start with the craft we built in the basic. This will save us a little time, yes. Click on the open button in the top right corner and load the hopper, then remove its motor. Okay. Open hopper, load. Remove its engine. If you mess up, you delete the craft. Oh, okay. Unlike last time, we won't be bringing the whole vessel back, so we can change our chutes stats from what we used before. Right click on the parachute and verify that its deployment altitude is set to 1000 meters as last time, but also set the minimum pressure slider all the way to the right, 0.75. All the way to the right. That corresponds to an altitude on Kerbal of about 2 kilometers and means a much shorter time hanging on IP. First off, let's change the name of our craft and the description if you want. Second one. Twin. Simply change the name to something other than hop. Great. For this craft, we are going to give the ship some additional purpose by attaching a science experiment. We can run those experiments during our travels and get valuable science data for Kerbal time. Switch to the science tab to look at it. This is one of the most basic scientific experiments Kerbal scientists have devised, and one of the first things they want to try and understand better. So, right? Okay. Next. When you pick up the part, you will see that it's designed to attach to the side of other parts. If you attach only one of these, then during flight our craft will be unbalanced. Okay, one way to solve this is add an extra glue container on the opposite side of the rocket so they balance. Luckily we have a symmetry tool to help here. Symmetry tool, this one? Okay. These buttons control symmetry and angle snap and can be found in the lower left of the screen. Press the symmetry button to cycle through the available symmetry mode. Symmetry button. So the snap. This is symmetry. 3, 4. Set this to 2 and then pick up and place mystery glue container unit on the side of the pocket. Here, the top. Already placed a loan canister, pick it up, make sure symmetry is set correctly and place it again so that it can duplicate on the other side. Remember to place the canisters near the nose of the pod. Okay? If we add too many more parts here, the craft we are making will be too heavy to survive re-entry safely. add a decoupler below the pod. Decouplers can be found in the coupling tab and will let us split the craft when we no longer need the lower part. We won't be able to recover the discarded parts, but at least our craft and our Kerbal will survive re-entry and landing. Decouplers can be used in many ways, but for now, let's just add one of these to the bottom of the pod. Go to the coupling tab, grab a D12 and place it. Note that that stack decouplers have arrows. The arrows show which side is the side that decouples. Make sure your decoupler arrow is pointing up towards the pod. It will be by default. Well, okay. Nice. Well done. You'll recall, I hope, that in the previous tutorial we had to adjust the staging stack when we added the engine to our earlier rock. When you add the decoupler, the extra stage is automatically added to the stack so that any new parts below the decoupler won't be staged at the same time as those above it. You can of course still move those around, but hopefully this will save you some time as you go. If you ever want to return to this default staging setup, click the reset button at the bottom of the tab. Reset the shoot. First the decoupler, then the stage. Next. This time we are going to use liquid propellant with the rocket engine. Unlike solid rocket motors, these engines don't carry their own propellants with them, so we need to add some fuel tanks. We are going to need 5 of those tanks to get us to space. Before you grab 5 tanks from the parts toolbox though, let me give you another tip, because efficiency is my middle name. Once you place the first tank on the rocket, you can duplicate that by holding left Alt key and click on the tank. You can do this on the bottom tank a few times and quickly get 5 of those attached without having to go back to the toolbox. Add 5 fuel tanks to the vessel and we can proceed. Fuel tank. This one like this, and then Alt, left Alt. Good. Switch over to the engine tab now. The swivel engine you see here is obviously different from the flea we used before. This is a liquid engine and it needs and burns both liquid fuel and oxidizes. Funnily enough, that's what we just added to the rocket. Attach the swivel to the bottom of the rocket stack now and keep an eye on the staging stack to see how it changes. Okay. We are almost there and we're doing fine. Maybe not as speedy as someone of my caliber though. The last thing we are going to need to do is to give this rocket a little bit of stability so it keeps going the way we want it to go. We will achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. Fins can be found in aerodynamic fins. How many? 4. Symmetry mode, the 4 will be placed on both axes. Okay. With snap on. Snap is on, and 4, and okay. Drop a basic pin on the last rocket tank. You'll see the other 3 symmetry counterparts will be placed as well. Excellent. We've now got a rocket that will let us reach for the stars. Admittedly, I did say reach for, as this is a basic rocket which can achieve orbit, but on the bright side, that means re-entry will also be basic. We've done a great job in building a basic hopper and orbital capable rocket. Hopefully, you've learned a few things about how to build a craft and how to use some of the shortcuts that are in here. Feel free to hang around. Yeah, yeah. Okay, done. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Lost. Save it. Leave. Okay, that was tutorial 3. Thanks, guys.